If you love scoring amazing hotel deals, you've got to use Hotel Tonight. I've used them. I love them. Forget scrolling through never-ending list of hotels. Hotel Tonight shows you a select list of incredible deals at cool hotels you actually want to stay at. And even though the name's Hotel Tonight, you could book in advance, not just at the last minute. It's perfect for spontaneous weekend getaways, 3-day weekends, staycations, road trips, business trips, booking a place with a pool, and more. Hotel Tonight is fantastic. It's easy to use. I love it. My friends love it. Hotel Tonight partners with great hotels to get you incredible deals for tonight, tomorrow, and beyond. In fact, a friend of mine recently up in New York City, I told him about the app. He needed a hotel room that night. He used it that day and got himself at one of the nicest hotels in New York City, got himself 40% off what he would normally pay for that hotel. It is simple, guys. To start scoring amazing deals at incredible hotels, go to HotelTonight.com or download the app right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word LIFT to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text LIFT to 797979. Text LIFT to 797979.
Man, it's night and day doing this local hour in mid-September as opposed to doing it in the summer. There's so much to discuss locally. Dwayne Wade's back. Your Miami Dolphins are 2-0 in first place in the AFC East. The Miami Hurricanes are doing their thing. Hell, even David Beckham is targeting Leo Messi. We probably won't get into that, but I just wanted to say David Beckham is targeting Leo Messi. But we begin with Christian Yelich and a dejected Billy Gill. Billy, did you watch what Christian Yelich did last night?
I saw.
Christian Yelich is the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit 2 cycles against the same team. He did it against the Reds. And you know me, I don't really pay much attention to baseball. I'd like to see what's going on SportsCenter highlights and Twitter just so I know what the talking points are. I had to look up Christian Yelich's stats since the All-Star game. This guy's going to win NL MVP, Billy.
We started going over it, me and Chris. He's not the best at anything. He's like top 5, top 10 in a bunch of things, but there's always a Goldschmidt that's going to be there to take the MVP.
There is always a Goldschmidt.
There's always a Goldschmidt that's going to be there. Javi Baez is there. I want him to win. It would be nice if he won, but
what Yelich has going for him is that he's on like a crazy hot streak in the second half. Like the voters usually they like a second half. So in the second half, he's like leading almost every category.
Well, it might be the second half and the lack of true competition. If Stanton were with the Marlins, he'd be in this conversation because he's having a really good year out in the American League, but there's just stronger competition out there. But let me read you the stats. Christian Yelich since the All-Star break. Slugging percentage, .733. That's good for first in Major League Baseball. Hits, 77. Good for first in Major League Baseball. Batting average, .355. Second in MLB. OPS, 1.149. Second in MLB since the All-Star break. RBI, 50. Second. So he's either first or second in all those categories since the All-Star break. This guy is on an absolute tear.
Yeah, but if he was on the Marlins doing that, he wouldn't be in the conversation. It's because the team is, relevant, and they're going to make the playoffs. Right now, they're leading the wild card by a couple games, 3 games, I think.
That's an excellent point. I don't really know how much of a difference this makes if he were on the Miami Marlins. They're not going to be much better because one individual player can only mean so much. How's the Marlins pitching staff?
They're all right. You know why this Yelich thing hurts? Because the Marlins don't have any cycles. No cycles
26
ever.
26 seasons.
Wait a second. The Marlins have never had a cycle?
Never.
It's a bit of a random thing. Wouldn't you rather have like a 3-homer game than a cycle?
Right.
No, I want a cycle because it's never happened. I want what I can't have. And this guy has 2 now.
How many times have the Marlins been a triple away from the cycle?
Oh, my God.
I hate when
so
people
much.
say that, a triple away from the cycle.
Why?
Because that's the easiest, the triple is the hardest thing. Like, I don't know the stats on this, but I guarantee you there have been so many triples away from the cycle in compared to how many cycles there have been.
Guaranteed.
Has there ever been anyone that was like a single away from the cycle, and then they got another triple?
That's frustrating.
I'd stop at first. I'm sorry, I would just stop at first base.
And then history doesn't remember them as a cycle hitter. This is pretty cool. Christian Yelich.
It's pretty cool when it's the first time this has ever happened in MLB history. Usually in baseball, because it's been around so long, it's like, oh, this is the first time this has happened since 42. But this is literally the first time, and anytime that happens...
I mean, there's so many stupid things in baseball that they keep track of that it's like the things have lost their level of
But when do you ever hear first, like you always hear some stupid stat that this is the first time it's happened since 32. You rarely hear first time in MLB history.
It is a pretty random game that establishes a really long sample, and in all those years of playing hundreds and hundreds of games, thousands, for this to never happen, it's kind of shocking that there's still stuff that's never happened in Major League Baseball.
But it's random. I mean, it's random that he got a cycle against the same team. That's not like something that was skill. It's random.
Do you think history will remember this Christian Yelich trade? That's my first question. Do you think history will remember this Christian Yelich trade? And do you think it might be one of those rare win-wins? Because this dude might win an MVP. I think, after looking it over, you can make a really solid argument that he might even be the favorite at this point for the National League. But you got Bryn Diesel.
I mean, look, honestly, it looks like they lost this trade.
Yeah.
We did get Bryn Diesel, which I love. He's my favorite player. But I want to say that you have to wait to see like what the people they got, because they got more than Brinson. They got other prospects, but like you would still have had Yelich for like 4 or 5 more years under team control.
His contract is the reason why we lost that trade.
Well, yeah, Yelich is the perfect kind of player to build around here. I don't understand. Obviously, other Major League Baseball teams understood the value that Christian Yelich had, which is why the Marlins supposedly got this haul.
In their defense, which is a rare thing that you're going to hear from me, but in their defense, if, he wasn't buying in and he was what they presented as somewhat of a locker room problem, and he wasn't going to be, going along with this rebuild, and he's going to be causing problems in the locker room, then I guess I understand why you have to move him.
Yeah, but
I don't understand. The thing about the trades that I don't get is they needed to cut payroll, which obviously was one of the most important things. But if they have these pieces and you're really rebuilding, I mean, I guess they really like the package from Milwaukee, right? Because if not, why wouldn't you hold on to him for another? You have him for 4 or 5 more years, whatever it is. Like, why wouldn't you hold on to him for another year and get absolutely the best thing, unless they felt like they really, really needed to move him?
But Real Muto was doing like the same type stuff as Yelich.
I don't know though, because there's like that's what we hear. But did he ever say anything? Like, did we ever hear him say anything? Because that's something that was put out there, but who put that out there? Because when they talk to him, he doesn't seem upset about anything. He seems like a very even-keel guy, and I never heard him, like, the quotes were never JT Realmuto said to a reporter, like, I want to move, or any of that. It was always through somewhere else. So where did that come from?
But when the Marlins are making all those moves this offseason, who in their right mind, what player on the Marlins would be looking at that like, yes, this is awesome? Like, any player's going to be like, oh man, we just traded Stanton, we just traded Ozuna. Like, it makes sense for them to be a little frustrated with that. But once they got into spring training, Real Muto's like, all right, this is, like, I'm the guy here. Like, this is kind of cool. Like, I think if Yelich would have just been upset, kept quiet, and got to spring training, then we could have just moved on, and he could have been happy here. Just like Real Muto seems happier once the season started.
It's sort of, as sort of an outside observer, it's a little confusing to me why you allow Christian Yelich, who doesn't really have a lot of power in this negotiation, to force his way out, considering his number. It just seems bizarre to me. He must have been a real problem. And what I know about Christian Yelich, which is admittedly not much, he just doesn't seem like that guy. I know there are these whispers that he's a bad clubhouse guy, but look at him. How could he possibly be a bad clubhouse guy?
I saw him one time, like, it was like a first or second year, I remember. It was the day of the All-Star game. He wasn't an All-Star at the time, obviously. It was the day of the All-Star game. I was walking through Dolphin Mall. I was going to get Rotelli's Pizza to take home. And I saw Christian Yelich just walking around the mall by himself. And I was like, hey, that's Christian Yelich. And I was like, this is the perfect place for Marlon to hide. Like, the perfect place for Marlon to hide is in Dolphin Mall. No one would know who anybody was. And he was like, it was his first year, his second year. I'm like, I think I'm the only person in this mall who knows who he is.
He does look like he'd be kind. He just seems like
I've
a
met
nice
him.
guy.
I met him once at that Tobin event where he ate crow because he hit 20 home runs, and here we are. He hit 31 with a very outside chance at maybe being a 40 home run hitter, which is just the most bizarre thing to me.
So frustrating because it's been so clear for years that he was going to turn into this guy.
He's a fantastic player. Can do it all. It's a bummer that he's not here, but you know who is here? The Marlins added a player I saw recently on my timeline. Marlins man signed a contract with the Miami Marlins.
This guy.
He has bought his way back in. Billy, explain this to me because I thought he was sort of blacklisted from the Marlins, and they had an auction, and Marlins man, who by all accounts is wealthy, has purchased his way back into this scenario.
I saw actually a video on ESPN that said Marlins man back in good graces with Marlins, and I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily the case. So the Marlins every year do a fantasy auction that they, during the game you can bid on all these experiences, and one of the experience, and he always, if you're watching the game, he's always bidding on everything. And it'll say Marlins man, on the entire board for, the first 4 innings until people come and actually start bidding things up. But he'll bid on everything at the beginning.
Guy.
And he bid, I believe he won 2 things. He won, player for a day, and he won, a broadcast experience. So it seems as though...
Amazing.
Because it seemed that the Marlins and him had a falling out, and he was,
well, they did.
Screaming at Jeter, "Do you know who I am?" In that meeting.
You were there. You were there at the.
Well, he wasn't screaming. He was asking, "Do you know who I am?" He was trying to get Derek Jeter to ride around in his Marlins mobile down Ocean Drive. He was asking to throw out a first pitch
at this State of the Marlins meeting, this town hall that they had before the season, where Derek Jeter tried to fix everything with the fans. Right?
They allegedly rejected some ridiculous. I don't remember. It was like a $200,000 check or something that he tried to send them. He was trying to basically make up his own season ticket plans and packages, and they were like, no, that's not how it works, because he wanted discounts, and then he kept proposing, a loyalty program where I give you more now and I pay less, whatever. So they had a falling out.
Yeah, and then didn't he threaten to go to another team, saying that he had several offers, but here he is, still Marlins man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Royals man doesn't work. It's you're wearing a blue jersey. It doesn't stand out.
Well, you mentioned the jersey.
Well, okay, so let's get back to this. So he bought 2 different items. He bought player for a day, and he bought a broadcaster experience. So yesterday they introduced him. They signed him to a 1-day contract. I'm doing quotes with my fingers because you can't see because obviously he's not
on radio
on the team. Yeah. And he took out the lineup card, and his thing is he wears an orange jersey, and he was making he had announced a couple months ago, this is going to be the return of Marlins man to Marlins Park, and he bought up all these sections, and he was giving away the tickets to come, and he wanted people to wear orange, and all this whole thing, this whole return to Marlins Park for Marlins man. Yeah. And so they signed him. They gave him a jersey, which was black, which was great. I love
what a
that they gave him.
Great dirtbag move.
Well, here's the thing: is that they don't wear orange anymore. This year they haven't worn orange. So
they could have gone white. White is the standard.
Well, they gave him the black jersey, which I thought was hilarious. Then I hear that he put his orange jersey on top of the black jersey for his press conference thing, and to take the
who had to be at this press conference.
Seriously.
Because he signed a contract. I saw a still with Michael Hill there, putting a contract in front of him.
He's the general manager. No, he's not the general manager. He's the president of baseball operations. So, I mean, he's the one that signs players, so he has to be there when they sign a player for a day, I'm assuming.
Slater was probably there.
I think he might have been, because he kept putting up pictures and he was reporting.
Yeah, Slater's on the Marlins man beat.
We're giving Marlins man what he wanted, by the way. This is why he spent all that money. So
they signed a new player. We have to talk about the new signing of Marlins man.
It's a transaction.
And by the way, the outfield sections that he was it didn't seem like his idea worked.
Rarely
it didn't seem like there was lots of people wearing orange in the outfield.
Rarely is there a September call-up that has had this much excitement generated around it. Okay, that's enough of Marlins talk. We have a first-place Miami Dolphins situation. We'll talk about it after the break.
Guys, let's be real. When you look good, you feel good. At the JCPenney wardrobe sale, you can get 50% off select men's suits separate, sport coats, dress pants, and accessories. Plus, select dress shirts, buy one, get one free. Raise your game with Collection by Michael Strahan. All the right looks to take your style to the next level. Also, save an extra 20% off with your JCPenney credit card and coupon, or extra 15% off with any other method of payment. Hurry in. JCPenney. Style and value for all. Pricing and coupon valid 9/13 and 9/23. Credit offer subject to credit approval. Some exclusions and restrictions apply. See store at jcp.com for coupon and details.
Don Batard.
Chris Cody, how is it that you had a sharp single off of Matt Lato's
and also played with the big prospect. You played with the big prospect?
No, I coached against Lewis Brinson, the center fielder that we got back. He's a 5-tool outfielder, really good player. He went 1 for 4 against our awful baseball team.
Stugotz. Did you have your ace on the hill, or?
No, what you do is you start with the heat and you go high in the zone.
Right.
And then when the 2 strikes come, curve it.
He sits dead red with 2 strikes?
That's right.
All right.
What pitcher was it for you? Was it like your ace, or was it like a number 3 guy?
Our number 2 was our number 2.
Number 2 guy.
What's he up to now?
Nothing.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
All right, it's an exciting time to be a Miami Dolphin fan. We'll get into them in just 1 second. But there's actually some hockey news. Let's try to hit up all the local sports. We already hit Beckham targeting Messi for the 2020 season, the inaugural year for Inter Miami. We hit up Christian Yelich and Marlins man, the big transaction. Marlins man has signed with the Miami Marlins. The Florida Panthers.
I think he's been released already, though.
He's been released?
Well, it's 1 day. So.
Can they actually put out a
That would be really funny if they're like, we've released Marlins man after a day.
Hit it to the wire. Roy, the Florida Panthers have a new captain, and it's the best two-way player in the National Hockey League.
Oh, yeah, Alexander Barkov. I think it was a bold strategy because it could have very well been Ekblad as the captain, but they decided to go with Barkov. And I think that because he's not a very vocal player, that they're doing this off of work ethic. So he's going to lead by example this year.
Oh, lead by example. What happened to the last captain was Derek McKenzie, right?
Yes, he passed off his captaincy off to Barkov.
He passed it off. So is he still playing?
I don't believe so. I believe he retired.
Oh, I checked his Wikipedia. It hasn't mentioned a retirement just yet. I feel like I should know this because they just had media day. But either way, Alexander Barkov's your new captain.
Who are our A's? Is it assistant or alternate?
It's alternate.
I used to think it was assistant captain, but apparently it's alternate captain.
No, it's alternate captain.
So that's Ekblad?
It's going to be Ekblad, and I'll check in on who's going to be the other alternate.
You know what I really loved? The Calgary Flames. Whenever they had a captain or an alternate captain, they would take the Calgary Flaming C, and that would be the captain patch. Mm-hmm. And then for the alternate captains, it would be the A, but in the form of the Atlanta Flames.
Oh, yeah, it's so stylish. It was nice.
Very sick.
This team's actually kind of good. Ekblad and
We're going to fall for
Barkey
it. We're going to fall for it again.
Young, good players locked up.
No. This team is making the playoffs this season. Like this.
Other than those two, what other young guys do they have locked up? Do they have?
Shall it be done?
Yeah, I mean, last season they had 96 points. That was the second team in NHL history to not make the playoffs with 96 points.
One of those years.
It was one of those. It was like they had a sick second half last season. They just missed the playoffs. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and unfortunately, all the teams that they were chasing were red hot too.
Yeah,
the Devils just would never lose. The Flyers, same. So it should be an exciting year. Surfer Hockey Dude's going to be yelling plenty far away from the mic. But right now, it's back to a football town because I think it was a basketball town for the 24 hours after hashtag One Last Chance, hashtag Spotlight on, hashtag Sweet 16. Dwayne Wade's coming back, but that's out of the news cycle. It's football town again because the Miami Dolphins are in first place in the AFC East. Sole possession, by the way. Sole possession. And this seems crazy. If you take away the division title out of the element, because that's obviously the latest in a season they've been in possession of first, in sole possession of first. If the Dolphins beat the Oakland Raiders, who are an absolute mess on Sunday, it will be the latest into the season. They have sole possession of first place since week 4 of 2005.
Wow.
This is a team that when I was a little kid was always in that conversation. You could always write the Miami Dolphins in that playoff spot. Always challenging for the division crown. And since 2005, around there, it's been a pretty sad state of affairs. So you have every reason to be excited. Yes, you might have caught a break with the schedule.
I was going to say, that's kind of a big deal. We really haven't played anyone good.
Yeah, and look, I wouldn't set my sights on a division title considering New England just got Josh Gordon. But hey, Matt Patricia is hosting the Patriots Sunday Night Football, right? Who knows the Patriots better than Matt Patricia?
Yeah.
You can't count on Josh Gordon just strolling in and making an immediate impact. That's not how the Patriots work, right?
Is he supposed to play this week?
Yeah, he's fit enough to man, don't even get me started.
I thought he had a hamstring injury.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he had a hamstring injury that ruled him out for the game on Sunday against the Saints and was the last straw because you cannot trust somebody who works out at the training facility the night before a game for a promotional shoot. So Josh Gordon is now a New England Patriot, which is, of course, right? Everyone, as soon as everyone heard that Josh Gordon was available, you knew that the Patriots would slide in there and get him on the cheap, and they did for a 5th-round draft pick. That's a bummer if you're in that division, but it's always been a bummer. All right, and here's the good news: they gave up a 5th-round pick. So how the hell are they going to replace Tom Brady? Because you know that 5th-round pick was just going to draft the next Tom Brady. So you're feeling all right if you're a Miami Dolphin fans, and you're in pretty good playoff position right now, according to ESPN's FPI. After the Week 2 victory at New York, the Dolphins' playoff chances have increased to 43.6%. So playoff fever, Chris.
Well,
feel it?
2-0 teams make the playoffs 62% of the time. Just that stat.
Yeah, but there's a lot of 2-0 teams, and you have to take into account that there's some really good teams that aren't 2-0.
Look, I know I sound like I'm poo-pooing on this because like they really haven't played anyone good, and they've kind of just been playing these Dolphin-type games that aren't. Like, I'm not coming after these games and thinking, after these games, I'm not sitting there like, wow, this Dolphins team is different this year. It's just like we've had a couple close games and we've happened to win them, which is good.
Hold up. You say that they haven't played anybody good, and I'm going to play devil's advocate because I low-key agree with you, okay? But look at it on its surface. Tennessee Titans, they're not winless. Mm-hmm. They're 1-1. That was a playoff team. In fact, that was a team that won a playoff game last year, all right? New York Jets, they're 1-1 now. You are the one in the under the loss column, okay? Yeah. You don't know what these teams are just yet.
Right.
You're 2 weeks into the season. You kind of think that Oakland's not good. That looks like a disaster, so you should win this game. According to Vegas, you will win this game.
There are plenty of reasons to be excited about this season so far. Like, in a bigger sample, we now have a good sample size. Tannehill under Adam Gase, 15 games, 68% completion percentage.
Oh, almost
under
nice.
Under Philbin, 62%. That's a big gap. Like, he is a better quarterback with Adam Gase. He's progressed just himself, but with Adam Gase, like Ryan Tannehill, like Dan has said, he's an above-average quarterback. Like, that is not an issue. If he's healthy, you have a good quarterback.
Plus, if he's given you the stuff that he's given you on the ground, which was an unexpected game plan, I think coming off that injury, we didn't expect to see him running that much. It's sort of like Malik Rozier. Yeah, okay, he's not the most accurate on the on certain plays, but he gives you something with his feet that maybe other quarterbacks don't give you.
The wild card that I really think could make the Dolphins go from this middle-of-the-road team to actually being a team that we expect to make the playoffs is the defense. Last year, 15 turnovers the whole season. They've already done 6 in 2 games. That is where, if they can stop the run with that new defensive line with Robert Quinn and Spence and all those boys, Spence and them boys.
Gottschall.
Yeah. That is the defense. If the defense can be what it's been the first 2 games, they actually are a pretty good team, and they can definitely.
Well, you have Fitzmagic now. You guys see that? This was such a jerk move by Minka.
Stugotz of the day.
Stugotz of the day. Minka Fitzpatrick has beaten Ryan Fitzpatrick to the Fitzmagic trademark. Now, Fitzmagic, this is not the first year that you've heard that term, Fitzmagic. It's been around for damn near 10 years, okay? Anytime he does anything, it's Fitzmagic. Yet he never applied for this trademark because he's Ryan Fitzpatrick, a career backup. Why would he? But it's been really hot as of late, as he has been too. And Minka Fitzpatrick, who's never been called Fitzmagic, has beaten him out to this trademark. He filed.
Heady play.
So the benefit of that is he can make shirts now with it. Like, what's the real?
Are we now obligated to call him Fitzmagic? Do we have to call this guy Fitzmagic? I never thought that this would be one of his nicknames. This was, Minka Fitzpatrick off the top rope.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have to call him Fitzmagic.
I mean, yeah, he's got the TM next to it now.
Minka's been good. So
Minka's been outstanding.
I'll call him whatever he wants me to call him.
Yeah, Minka's been outstanding. To have just a sure tackler in the open field when anybody takes the ball out wide. You watching the Dolphins for several years now, you could always count on if someone needs 4 yards for a first down, they're going to catch it maybe 3 yards short and break a tackle, spin out of it, and get 5. Yeah. Minka Fitzpatrick, no one's evading his tackles. And in today's NFL, that's actually, when you don't know what exactly is a tackle, this seems to be a pretty cool attribute that he has.
They got a guy in open space that's not missing any tackles, and they got a guy in my man, Fast Albert, who's breaking tackles.
Yeah, Fast Albert has been everything that he was advertised to be in Kansas City. What do we think about the running game so far? Because Sitton was out, but I actually was happy with the running game and the performance from not only Kenyon Drake, but Pro Bowler Frank Gore.
I'm sorry, I'm so distracted because all I've been thinking about now is trying to find a way to get to Michael Hill to see if he could trade Marlon's man for, like, because if he signed a 1-day contract yesterday, right? You would assume it's 24 hours. So, like, we have, I don't know, however many hours.
Well, he's on
10 hours
waivers right now.
Well, we have 10 hours to see if we can get Michael Hill to trade Marlins man to another team for a fan to be named later. How can we make this happen? Because that would be so funny if there was just a release that came out that said Marlins trade Marlins man to X team for a fan to be named later. Like, how great would that be? They wouldn't do it because that's like a circus thing that they want to get away from. It would be so funny if the Marlins traded Marlins man today.
I wish the Marlins would lean into it a little bit more.
How can we do this?
I mean, Michael Hill, this would seem to be a really funny move, and it would soften some of the public perception.
Or just make an actual trade and throw Marlins man in. So as if we're trading.
No, let's not do that. Let's keep the pieces we have. But look, guys, if anyone is within earshot of Michael Hill, tell him it's Billy. Actually, leave that part out of it because that's not going to help. Yeah, don't say that. But if anyone is within earshot of Michael Hill, bring up the idea of trading Marlins man to another team for a fan to be named later. Before his contract runs out today, please. It would make me so happy. Leave that part out too, because I don't think that they necessarily want to make me happy, but it would be so great if we did this.
Chris, how crestfallen were you when you found out that Josh Gordon was going to the Patriots?
I mean, I have him in fantasy, so partly there I was like, oh, okay. But as far as a Dolphins fan, it's the most predictable thing in the world.
Are you just resigned to the fact that everything's got to go the Patriots' way? A fifth-round draft pick, by the way, I know, I said it was on the cheap, but it's not exactly peanuts. Josh Gordon's a low-cap number now, but he's in the final year of a deal. Like, this is a rental. There's no way the New England Patriots are going to commit $20 million to Josh Gordon, if he can even get that because of all of the trust issues there. But the Browns were not going to bring back Josh Gordon, considering their cap situation. They already have a lot of money tied into Jarvis Landry. So they got a fifth-round pick for a guy that wasn't going to be here past this year. However, he is a guy that can help you win now. And when you have a 40-year-old quarterback in Tom Brady, who's missing Julian Edelman right now, this is a hell of a pickup.
Yeah.
They're going to have one of the best wide receiving cores in the league when Edelman comes back.
Belichick loves value so much. When he sees a guy available that's a little down on their luck, I'm just like picturing him in his office when he sees Josh Gordon's available, and he's just like anything.
I'm not really sure that the NFL considers this value, though, because a fifth-round draft pick...
In terms of talent and what you have to give up for him.
A fifth-round draft pick, times have changed, okay? Lamar Gordon's not going for a second-round draft pick anymore in today's NFL. A fifth-round draft pick, that is a big piece of currency.
That's how good he is.
This is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady realizing that they have a window. They're both up there. What is Belichick, 66? Tom Brady, obviously everyone knows his age, so they need to win now, even though their legacies are pretty set, but they're never going to not try to win. And this is a bit of a risk, man. This is a guy that'll tear his hamstring in a promotional shoot. Not tear it, but strain it. This is a guy that shows up perpetually late to practice and doesn't give 100%, but you have to believe that if he's in that culture, he's just going to end up being a Pro Bowler. That stat that I gave you guys, yesterday, courtesy of Mike Florio, when he was on the Part of My Take podcast, was insanity. Again, for those that didn't hear it, Josh Gordon in 2013 with mostly Brandon Weenan at quarterback had over 1,600 yards in just 14 games. In those 14 games, he put up a yardage output that Terrell Owens and Randy Moss never had in 16 games. Those are two of the greatest wide receivers we've ever seen. And this was with Brandon Whedon. And it was 2 less games. So now he's going to New England, and he's going to put it all over this division.
Dan Le Batard.
Oh, say, can you see
Stugotz
and the Rockets? Red flag. I'll make up for it now.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
Oh, the land of the free.
All right. I've read your tweets. I'm warning you right now. I have some Miami Hurricanes takes for this segment, okay? I know those aren't popular.
What do the tweets say?
Well, just over the course of us taking a more active role in this local hour.
People don't like us.
No.
You in particular.
No, people hate me.
Why is that?
People hate me. Well, I think generally I'm driving a lot more, so that means I'm a crappy version of Dan. Also, I eliminate my normal roles, so I'm also a crappier version of myself. Generally, I'm just crappier across the board. Also, I've been bad. I've been bad.
You think it's more of that or the other stuff?
Well, I think there are reasons why I've been bad, but ultimately just bad.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Thanks,
I hear your tweets. I see your tweets. I hear your criticisms, and I'm going to try to not be as emotional. But I got some Kane stuff. But in the meantime, what does Marlins man do for a living? Because this person seems to have unlimited funds.
He's a lawyer, I think. I think he does. I believe it is workers' comp or like personal injury, something like that. I mean, something that I want to get into. I don't know how to do that. It's probably too late for me. Well, I would say.
I would say so. But is he still active? Does he do commercials as Marlins man? How do I hire Marlins man as my personal injury attorney, or does he just have a firm and he's sort of not?
Oh
really...
yeah, no, he has a firm. His name's Lawrence Levy, I think.
Yeah,
and then I guess you just reach out to him. I don't know if he's going to be the one representing you. But...
What if I want him to represent me? Is this something that can get done?
I guess I don't know.
Conceivably. Maybe. I don't know how much he's practicing.
I mean, you would need if it's workers' compensation, which I'm not 100% sure, and I feel like when I'm giving information about lawyers, I should be super careful. But if it's that, I would think for him to represent you, you'd have to get injured here at work doing something.
It has to be a workers' comp situation.
I think that's what he does. I don't know. I'll look it up.
I wouldn't. If I were the Marlins, I wouldn't trust that guy. I mean, slips on a puddle in there. Very litigious Marlins man. Okay, without further ado, here are my Miami Hurricanes takes that you all hate.
Before the battle for Dade this weekend?
Is that what we're calling it, Bill? Because I've seen this referred to as a battle for Dade. You should be, man.
Who's calling it that?
I've seen it on Twitter.
I'm going to go to the bookstore and I'm going to stock up on some merch. Unless FIU wants to send me some stuff for free. I
don't understand why FIU doesn't send you stuff for free. You're such a visible... you're one of the more famous FIU alums in the nation. You realize this, right?
I mean...
No. Don't do this thing where you try to be low-key and humble. In terms of national recognition among sports fans.
Yeah, but this is a stupid job. Like, let's be real.
It is.
What we're doing is not important. There are people that have graduated that are actually doing like important things.
Are you on the wiki page, notable alum?
Oh, no chance.
Yeah, you should absolutely be.
I need to reach out. I need to get some tickets for that game still.
Billy, do you?
I see what you're doing.
No, because I want to sit in the FIU section, but...
You know what? We have power here. I was at Fido over the weekend watching Chelsea, and some very nice gentleman comes up to me, and he's like, hey, I heard your conversation about wanting free Adidas and Nike and how you're never gifted by Adidas. And he comes up to me, and he says, I'm from New Balance.
Wow, I'll take it. What, did you get his thing?
Yeah, he gave me a card.
Wow.
Yeah, so,
is this a group thing?
Well,
I can't
What's
his name? Shout out to that guy at Fido.
All right, I emailed them. I don't want to...
Billy,
I want to put them out there, but
I feel like we're not supposed to be doing this. This has to be against.
No. But I was like, oh, you want to give me a gift?
There's no way.
That's okay.
I'm not accepting any of this.
I'm not accepting any of it either. But I will put it on my Instagram saying gifted by New Balance if you give it to me.
Billy, I accept it. Give it to me.
Billy, so you genuinely think FIU has a chance this weekend?
No.
Do I think they have a chance this weekend? Look, anything can happen, man.
So no.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
No, they're not bad.
They lost 8 starters on defense.
Yeah, they're pretty...
Right? Like, that's not great.
Yeah,
no, they're pretty banged up.
But you're doing that thing. We were, like, Miami beat Savannah State 7-0, and you're like, oh, it's Savannah State. And now they beat UMass kind of big, and you're like, they're not bad?
Who's not bad?
FIU is not bad,
No,
though.
FIU's not a bad team, but, I mean, look, if they win, obviously it would be an upset. They're underdogs by 20-plus points.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk. I hope it's not a cakewalk. I hope it's fun. Look, if you think back to the first time that they played each other when that big fight happened, they were only down a touchdown in the third quarter. It was 7-0, and then
that wasn't the first time they played. I think
that was the first time. And then the next time, it was like very like everybody needs to behave.
Yeah.
And then they took off like 10, 11 years, whatever it's been.
That was before we were back, though. The U.
No, that was when we were leaving. That was when we were on. We had already seen the door, and Kirby Freeman was holding it open.
But it wasn't like that first game was close until the third quarter, and then they scored the second touchdown, and then the fight happened, and then things got a little out of control. I was at that game. I'm never going to forget it. I was fearing for my life.
I can only imagine.
I was in the upper deck at the Orange Bowl, and I was in the front row. And I'm trying to remember if I was painted or if my friends were painted. But yeah, man, I was decked out.
You were decked out in FIU stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You were actually attending the school at this time, right?
Yeah, man. Pause up. So
at a road game, painted.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, the tailgating was fun. Whatever. So the fight happened, and it felt like it lasted for like 20 minutes.
It did. It did.
You watched the video. You watched the video, and it was only like 3 minutes of actual things. It felt like it lasted forever, and the game was delayed. No lie, like 40 minutes. And I was in the upper deck, pushed up against the railing, because everybody wanted to see what was happening. I was pushed up against the railing, and I was like, this is how I die. Because the Orange Bowl only has like a really thin railing, and everything there was rusted.
This building is not up to code.
It should not have existed. They should have shut that down like years before. I don't know how it was still running when it was running.
For sure.
So you see all the fights happening, and I'm pushed up against the railing, and I'm seeing, like, if you looked out the open side of the Orange Bowl, you just saw a parade of police lights driving into the stadium. Yeah, from blocks and blocks away. Like, a parade. Like, all the police in the area, for whatever reason, came to the game as if there was an actual, like, riot going on.
Well, it wasn't just because of the fight on the field.
Well, then the things in the stands got crazy, too. There was police horses on the field when it was going on. Yeah. Horses. Police horses. Policemen on horses. It was amazing. On the field. And then I was in the upper deck just above, like, where the FIU section and the UM section, like, met. So there was like a row of security people in between, and then you just see, because like in the top you could see everything that's going on, you just see cops, like, because there was fights breaking out in the stands from the fans of the two schools and fans of, UM, whatever. There's lots of fights breaking out in the stands, and you just see, like, they'd kind of settle one situation, and then a fight would break out like 2 or 3 sections over, and then you just see like all the police running together, like in a line, going to the other fight. Like, it was insane.
That's crazy.
I didn't think the game was going to start again. Like, I was there and I'm like, I don't know how they restored her. They kicked out like 15, 16 people. It was amazing. One of my favorite sports moments. And then I was getting texts from my friends that were like at UF. And
you were getting texts back then?
I was getting texts. Yeah, it was early on.
Billy, are you okay?
They're like, what is going on in this game? They just cut into our game on ESPN and they showed highlights. What's happening? And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then the second game didn't live up to the hype.
No, but it's back now. And
why do police ride horse? Why do they ride horses? Seems inefficient.
I think it's to, like, be higher up and see what's going on. I don't know, because it seems like if you're like in a riot situation, a horse doesn't seem like an animal you'd want to be on, because it gets spooked and like throw you off.
I wouldn't want to be in the way of a horse.
No.
Actually, on Bourbon Street, the cops there that are patrolling Bourbon Street are actually riding horses. And I was there for WrestleMania weekend, and there were a lot of people dressed up in cosplay, and these horses would bump into you, and the cops would really be kind of reckless. I almost wrote a strongly worded letter about the police's behavior on
to
these
the police department.
Well, they need to check into these horses. Anyways, that FIU game gave us this immortal clip from Lamar Thomas that we'd be remiss not to play.
Now the Metro-Dade police trying to restore order. Now that's what I'm talking about. You come into our house, you should get your behind kicked. You don't come in the OB playing that stuff. You across the ocean over there. You across the city. You can't come over to our place talking noise like that. You get your butt beat. I was about to go down the elevator and get in that thing. I say, why don't they just meet outside in the tunnel after the ball game and get it on some more? You don't come into the OB, baby. We've had it down a couple years, but you don't come in here talking smack. Not in our house. You know what we be saying right now? We ready.
I want this to happen again. Like
a fight?
Not
a
at
riot?
that scale. No, not at that scale.
Let's do it.
I want chippiness. Like, I want them to not be friendly. I don't want Butch hugging people before the game.
Oh, he's hugging people.
I don't want any of that.
No, there's going to be hostility behind this game.
I want some. I want a little bit of this. Like, this is a town that's not exactly divided, but, like, I want there to not be friendliness, and I want this to be a game.
Well, the people that are all about FIU obviously are super passionate. You have to be, because it's sort of like me with the Browns. You're a true fan if you put up with the lack of success on the field. And some of the craziest football fans that I know are the FIU fans. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Get out of here, bro. We're the craziest fans in the world.
Oh, Pipo, were you at that game?
Of course, I was at that game.
You were at the
I got arrested at that game. No, I didn't get arrested at that game. Someone I know got arrested.
You wanted to go on the field.
I was on the field, bro. I was on the field.
Were you scared? Because, I mean, there were a lot of swinging helmets. Ned was swinging
scared.
a crutch.
I almost punched that horse in the face. What are you talking about? Was I scared? Please, people were scared of me. They were running away from me. You think they were running from fight to fight? They were running away from me because they knew what was up. You remember when that fight was calming down, and then all of a sudden the U was in a circle, and they were hopping up and down. I led that. I led that chant.
You're going to mix it up with some FIU fans because the rivalry's taken a few years off, people.
What do you mean mix it up?
Mix it up, like talk a little smack.
Are we going to scrap?
Scrap.
If we have to, we're going to scrap. They know, though. They know not to mess with me.
Yeah,
they're not going to pick a fight with me and scrap with me.
I forgot about the Butch Davis angle.
What did you forget about?
FIU's going to have a little chip
That guy's
on
a traitor. Guy's a traitor. He's supposed to be a king for life. Over there at FIU. I don't know what he's doing.
Ken Dorsey's also a traitor then.
That's another guy.
That's your favorite quarterback ever.
Bro, that guy's a bum now. That guy was my favorite, and then he betrayed us. Judas Dorsey, that's what I call him. Going over to FIU, showing him the tricks of the trade.
What is he, the athletic director? Or assistant
athletic director. A weird transition from assistant.
A coward. Assistant coward.
Couldn't get the main game.
Him and Pete Garcia, another one. Another traitor, Judas, going over to FIU. What do they even think they're going to do over there? They think they're going to get at our level, please. Pete Garcia, we didn't even want that guy.
What is our level, people?
Our level? Number 1, top of the mountain. What are you talking about?
We're not number 1. We're actually number 21 right now.
Bro, politics. That's politics.
Seriously, we've won
the best team in the country.
2 big games, haven't moved up at all.
That's what I'm saying. These people hate us. All of them.
Why?
I don't know. Because we're so dope and they're jealous. Who's better than us? Tell me, who's better than us?
Well, 20 teams.
What are the teams? Go over. I'll tell you why they're not better.
I can tell you Alabama, Georgia.
Alabama's cheating because Alabama every year gets the best players and they don't even have to do anything. And they're going to find out something that they're doing because they're doing something. There's no way that somebody wants to go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, over Miami, Florida. Something is going on there, and we're going to figure out what it is.
People, you're making so much sense to me. Look, this is what I've always said to people. SMU, USC, Miami. Outside of Penn State, these are the largest football scandals, right? The largest college football scandals. What do these cities have in common outside of being dope?
Who? Nothing. I don't have anything. SMU, what is that?
Well, SMU's in Dallas.
Shake my...
where?
SMU's in Dallas. USC is in Los Angeles.
They have horses there, bro. What do they have in Dallas? Why don't you just tell me what they have in common? Because they don't nothing. No one has anything in common.
What they have in common is they're major media markets that don't need their college football teams to continue running the town. The economy isn't running on SMU football in Dallas. It's not running on Miami Hurricanes football here. They're actual journalists that aren't going to look the other way when they see something. The entire town of Tuscaloosa exists because of this college football program. No one's going to do anything, either in law enforcement or in journalism, to bring that place down.
So there's some hush-hush
What does that mean?
Of course. What I'm saying, people, is everybody's cheating.
They're cheating. That's what
and
I've
the big cities aren't getting away with it.
Just say that. They're cheating. They're cheating. We've been saying that. What other teams?
Ohio State.
I'm not going to touch that.
Oklahoma. LSU, do they deserve the U? They kind of took the U. They kind of took
the U. But
we want them to have the U now.
I took them rims, Eddie-o.
Well, I think this LSU game is going to haunt Miami for the rest of the year because Miami on the surface at 21, and it's a little early to get emotional about the rankings, but everyone turned that game off at halftime. And if you stayed to see if it would turn into a game, you didn't see Miami score until very late in the third quarter. I think with a minute and a half left, that game was 33-3. It ended up being a 2-score game. But that doesn't matter in the eyes of the media that didn't watch it. There are people that didn't even vote for Miami in the top 25. I took their names because I'm crazy. I took their names because College Football Reddit posted the AP top 25 voters and who voted for which teams. And
so these are the guys that are keeping us at 21?
Right. So, people, if you want to start stealing rims, you're going to want to steal John Wilner's rims. He works for the San Jose Mercury News.
Where's that?
This guy.
It's in California.
No.
Okay, Steve Vergan, he works in Albuquerque. Pat Dooley, Gainesville Sun. We know what's going on there.
Yeah. Gainesville.
Yeah. Gainesville Sun.
Waxville.
And this one hurt. This one really stung.
Who?
Reese Davis of ESPN. Left the Miami Hurricanes off, according to this graphic that I saw at College
That guy can
Reddit.
vote for the top 25? How?
Yeah. What I like about the top 25 graphic that College Football Reddit posts, which is the best subreddit outside of the Dan Le Batard Show Reddit that hates this local hour.
Shout out.
They put like their allegiance. So there's an Alabama Crimson Tide logo next to Reese Davis because he went to Alabama. So that's how I know this Gainesville Sun guy is a Gator because not only does it have the paper, but it has a little Florida Gators logo next to it.
So you're saying that they have the voters too. That's how they're cheating against the U also.
What? They're obviously cheating, people, because how does Wisconsin still rank ahead
Where
of
was
the
that guy in California?
San Jose?
Bro, my friend Casper lives in San Jose.
No, not Puerto Rico.
What do you mean, Puerto Rico?
Not San Jose.
No, that's San Juan, bro.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wow,
there's a San Jose.
Map. Got an education, bro.
I went to Miami-Dade just like you. There's a San Jose, Costa Rica.
Nah. My friend Casper is San Jose, California. He's gonna take that guy's chromie.